Welcome to Navigating Church Finances with Michelle Brown, the podcast that helps take the guesswork out of church finances one episode at a time. Whether you're a seasoned treasurer or just got handed the church checkbook, you are in the right place. My goal is to make church finances fun, simple, and eliminate some stress for you. So let's get ready to learn something cool today.
Hello, and welcome to the podcast. I hope you noticed the new intro with the new title, the new music, and the new what they call a TSO, which is my my tagline. You know what I'm here to do, and the goal of it was to make church finances more fun. I'm telling you, as nerdy and as geeky as it may sound, I have too much fun doing church finances. I love talking church finances. I love teaching church finances. And that's what we are going to do in this podcast. Yes, we've already been doing that, but I'm really hoping to make it just more fun, more, I try to be a planner, and I actually planned, wrote out, rehearsed a podcast episode, and then last night I totally changed my mind. So I got to going through some old papers and found my old job description from when I was on staff, and I thought, ooh, that would make a cool podcast. Though the other podcast is actually also cool, and we'll eventually do that one. But I wanted to, this one was fresh on my heart, and the reason that I wanted to do this one is because if you're listening to this originally, it's in February, okay? So we're at the beginning of the year. We're only second month into the year. And that's the perfect time if you've made it through the January craziness, which if you're listening to this, then this means that you have. You know, you've made it through getting the W-2s done. You've made it through getting those 1099s out. You've made it through getting your contribution statements done. You've made it through getting all of your year-end stuff done, and you're ready to now focus on the new year. Well, one of the things that we wanted to focus on is to make sure that you get job descriptions done so that you know what you actually need to be doing this year. And yes, job descriptions are important. I know a lot of churches don't have official job descriptions, but you need to have one, because if you don't have an official job description, how can you do an evaluation of your employees? And yes, you should be doing employee evaluations. They kind of go hand in hand. You know, it's kind of like you can't have one without the other. So employee evaluations. Okay, the first year you have a new employee, you should do an evaluation at least at the 30-day ending, 60-day, and 90-day. And then after that, you want to go on an annual basis. Why 30, 60, 90? Because most businesses have a probationary period, which are either 30, 60, or 90 days. So it's wonderful, depending on how long your probationary period is to include those reviews in those every 30 days for those evaluations. And the purpose of doing this evaluation, employee evaluation, is number one, to make it clear to your employees what the expectations are of them. Because sometimes when you get hired, the person who got hired is so excited they have a new job that they really may not pay attention to exactly what all of their job duties entail, okay? So to have that review to say, okay, here's your list of specific responsibilities that I want you to do, okay? This is who you're responsible to. This is the principal function of your position. And then to go through those and say, are there any questions? This gives you the opportunity to whoever's doing the evaluation to give their opinion on the job performance that the individual is doing. In this case, we're going to talk specifically about the church bookkeeper or financial assistant. And then that also gives that individual the opportunity to say, you know, to ask any questions they have, like, okay, this I've got in here now that I've had 30 days. Okay, I've got to looking at it. This used to be done this way, but I was taught how to do it this way, or now I see that it would work better if we did it this way. Can we, make some changes? And this is the perfect time to discuss that. Okay. So but you have to be clear on what are the specific responsibilities for your bookkeeper or your financial admin. This can include weekly counting of all the monies received. But again, you don't want to do just one person. You want two unrelated people counting the money. If you do in-house payroll, your bookkeeper or your financial admin you need to make sure that there's a process for maintaining accurate payroll data and benefits data. Maintaining the individual contribution records confidentially. Okay? Nobody's business. Nobody, I don't care who they are, other than your bookkeeper and the financial admin and maybe your church treasurer or whoever is on your counting team. Those are the only individuals who should ever see who gives what. It is nobody else's business, including your pastor. Get mad at me if you want to. I don't care. That's my personal, professional opinion, and it's also an industry standard that the pastor and the other staff members, they have no clue who gives what, because it is really none of their business. Okay. You're going to include in there to prepare your financial data, obviously, and the individual needs to understand what that data means. They need to be able to explain what the numbers mean. All right. They're probably going to prepare checks. Always keep in mind that segregation of duties. The person preparing the checks should not be the same person signing the checks. Okay. Just like the person counting the money should not be the same person depositing the money. Unless, again, you have two or more unrelated people that are counting it, you have somebody else verify it, and then you can have someone else take it and make the deposit. Okay. All right. And then your financial admin or your bookkeeper absolutely should be working with the church treasurer and the finance committee, if you have a finance committee, or your stewardship team, or whatever name you want to give with that. For that team, you want to make sure that they're working well together, because when I was on staff, the monthly business meeting, the church treasurer would be the one to present the financial data for that previous month. They would be the one to answer the questions, but they can't answer the questions if they don't have that communication with your bookkeeper, who's the one who's actually preparing the reports and entering the data. Okay. So another responsibility is they're just going to be good in communicating, but they've got to understand the data. Okay. So all of that to say that you need to do the first year that you have somebody new in this position, and in any position, it doesn't matter whether it's your senior pastor, your youth guy, your music guy, your church janitor, it doesn't matter. But specifically, we're talking about your church bookkeeper or financial administrator. You want to have a 30, 60, or 90-day evaluation, depending on how long your probationary period is. And yes, you should have a probationary period. And then you want to make sure that you're open for dialogue of where both individuals, the person giving the review, goodness gracious, sometimes words just go away, and then the bookkeeper themselves, they can ask questions, they can provide input. And then you want to review a written job description that describes their principal function of the bookkeeper or financial admin, who they are responsible to their immediate supervisors, and then give them some specific financial responsibilities so that they kind of have a guideline to know what they need to do. Okay? And that's going to be it for today. Who knew you could come up with a podcast just by going through boxes of paper? So thank you for giving of your time today. I will tell you, in my course, Intro to Church Finances, the very first module is actually a module on roles and responsibilities and qualifications for the church treasurer or your church bookkeeper, along with some handouts and PDFs and checklists and interview papers and all of that. So if you have not purchased my course yet, or if you're new to church finances or just want a really good review of the basics, absolutely go to HTTPS. It's churchfinances.org/ICF course. Again, that stands for Intro to Church Finances course. That's churchfinances.org/ICF course. And you can get on that. I will tell you that after tax season is over, the price is going up. I'm going to change things up a little bit, but through now, just so that you can go ahead and get in there and get it at that lower price, go check it out. It's there's lots and lots of there's a, I think, 40 some odd page workbook that you can print out, and there are lots of additional PDFs and checklists and all kinds of cool stuff in there for you. So again, that's churchfinances.org/ICF course. So thank you for hanging out with me today. I look forward to talking to you again next week. And remember, let's all strive to make an impact and not just an income. And remember to always look your best, do your best, and be your best. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.